Hello, all you fabulous souls, and welcome to another episode of the Queer Quest podcast. I'm your host, Christiano Green, the CEO and founder of Queer Quest and a transformation coach for people in the queer community. So this week on the podcast, what I am doing is a little bit different. I have a brand new webinar out that I'm going to be doing every couple of weeks, and it's a webinar for people in the queer community, and it's all about how you can learn to love your queer self unapologetically without the fear of society's judgments. So I do this live and lots of people come on and they get a chance to answer questions and go through the webinar with me, but not everyone gets to make it on live. So what I've done is I've condensed it into this week's podcast episode. So in a minute, you're going to see me going into the whole presentation. You get a chance to hear all about that, and you're going to learn the 3 secrets that are going to help you as a queer person on your journey of growth and healing. So before we start though, if you're going to get some value out of this, which I really trust that you are going to, what I'd love for you to do is can you share, can you follow, can you comment on this podcast wherever you see it? If you're on there and you can do a review, do that amazing, because it really helps get this podcast out to more and more people, which is what we want. We want people to hear and have the conversations about queer-centric personal development. So if you really get some value, please do me a favor, share, like, comment, subscribe, review, all the cool things. And we're going to get into the episode because I'm going to share it right about now. Welcome to the Queer Quest podcast, your beacon of light and sprinkle of glitter in the queer community. I'm your host, Christiano Green, CEO and founder of Queer Quest and a transformation coach for queer individuals. And together, we are embarking on a journey of transformation. Each week, we bring you a new training topic, all connected with visionary queer leaders in healing and coaching, diving deep into conversations that inspire growth, celebrate diversity, and empower you to live authentically. So wherever you are, settle in and let's get ready to unlock the vibrant potential within. This is where your quest begins. Hello, all you fabulous souls, and welcome to the How to Love Your Queer Self Unapologetically Without the Fears of Society's Judgments. That's right. Society does offer us a lot of feedback about who we are as queer individuals. And so this webinar over the next 90 minutes is going to help you to understand how you can love your queer self unapologetically without the fears of society's judgments. So what I aim to do today is to help you go from feeling like the outsider, whether that's the outsider in your community, in your family, in your social circle, to being part of a tribe who truly sees you. That's right. The you is behind my head. Who truly sees you for who you are authentically. Because I believe that in my heart, from speaking to hundreds, if not thousands of queer people over the last 4 years, that authenticity and trying to be who you are in a world that doesn't necessarily, allow you to do that sometimes is the key to, I guess, long-term satisfaction. It's the key to spiritual enlightenment and your queer awakening. So that's what we're going to focus on today over the next 90 minutes. So just let me introduce myself to those of you who do not know who I am. My name is Christiano Green, and I am the CEO and founder of Queer Quest. I'm also a transformation coach for people in the queer community. I've been doing this for the last almost 5 years now. It's a beautiful journey. And so as we go throughout the process, when I get into my flow, sometimes I speak a little fast. So I trust that that's okay with you. It just shows my passion. I'm going to try to make sure that I slow it down so I don't go overboard and get too hyped up. But just please forgive me if I'm speaking a little fast. It's just because I'm so passionate and I'm seriously in the flow. So I just wanted to start before by giving a couple of results disclaimers. So by undertaking this webinar and potentially enrolling in Queer Quest Pro, you're signing up for an adventure where the only thing more vibrant than your journey might be your wardrobe. Some of the side effects include uncontrollable bouts of self-love, a sudden increase in lifelong friendships, the uncanny ability to turn heads in every room you enter. While we can't guarantee you'll become the next queer icon, let's just say we wouldn't be surprised if you did. Your results may vary, but one thing is mediocrity isn't going to be one of those options at all, not for anyone coming today. So, who is this webinar for? It's for anyone in the queer community. And for me, queer also envelops everything within the LGBTQIA plus community. So if you're someone in that community, which I trust that you are, then this is for you. It's also for anyone who's looking for spiritual enlightenment, who's looking for their queer awakening. And it's also for people who feel like the outsiders, like the lone wolves in life, the free spirits, the loners, the nonconformists, the misfits, the weirdos, the oddballs. These are all things that I've been called at different times of my life. And instead of taking the negativity, I'm just re-owning those and saying, yeah, I am all of those things. And that's okay, and I trust that you can take that on board as well. So if you're in any of these boxes, you're in the right place. So before I talk, I said I am the CEO and founder of Queer-Quest. And what is queer personal development? So Queer-Quest is the very first personal development platform that is designed specifically for people in the queer communities. What does that mean? So it's an online platform where queer people can come to, and we have queer expert coaches, healers, gurus from all around the world in every single area and facet of the queer community, and also the queer wellness wheel of life, who come on here to create short quests for you to go on. And you can come to Queer-Quest and you can learn from all the different experts so that you get to see growth and have that spiritual enlightenment and that queer awakening. And on your path to queer excellence, it's about learning from queer experts at all. So that's what Queer-Quest is about. And I'm excited to share a little bit more about that later on today. So the goal for today's web class is the only way for you to truly be a part of an empowering queer community is through overcoming being an outsider. So if you want to learn how to be part of something where you feel like the insider, we have to overcome those things where we have felt like being an outsider. And I can relate so much to being an outsider for a long time in my life as well. And so the other goal for us today is to understand that the only way to achieve queer excellence, which is you living your most authentic queer life, is through learning from queer experts. So instead of going out there in the world of personal development and just listening to any guru who has a one-size-fits-all model, we're going to talk today about how learning from the queer experts, those people who have walked the path before you or side by side you, who have gathered their knowledge and can share it to you so that you can relate to them, but you can also understand the path that's going to be in front of you that you can walk and make it easier because you won't be doing it on your own. You do it with a supportive queer community around you as well. So why am I qualified? So I spent over 20 years working in the corporate world, and I led small teams of 5 all the way up to teams of 300. And being a queer leader myself, I was the type of person that I had a lot of people who were in the queer community as well. And so probably over 40% of the entire team that I had was LGBTQIA plus, because I'm a person who believes in giving opportunities to people who I see have potential. And of course, I see potential in a lot of younger queer people. And so I mentored a lot of people there as well. Also, I was voted the most valuable coach in a mastermind of high-profile 6- and 7-figure coaches. Yes, that's something that I am proud of, being voted the most valuable coach there for my passion, for my purpose, and for my coaching abilities as well. Why else am I qualified? I've gone from living pretty much 35 years of my life single to now being in a happy and successful queer relationship for the past 3.5 years. I've also been speaking on stages. I have spoken on different stages around the world virtually as well. And I've also got my degree in counseling, and I have my master's in NLP, which is neuro linguistics programming. And I also used to work for a training organization who helped other coaches get certified and trained up in the skills of NLP so that they can become better coaches to their clients as well. And I've also gone from someone who was struggling with alcohol and substance abuse with drugs to becoming now a healthy and happy, actualized person, a human being. So I know what it's like to be at rock bottom, but I also know what it's like to turn around as well. I want you to just to share a little bit about one of my very first clients that I ever worked with, James. Now, James came to me when he was really at his lowest point. He was smoking meth every single day. He had a very strange relationship with his mother. He had 0 friends. He'd never been in a relationship before. His work was unfulfilling to him, and he was one day away from pretty much being fired because they did regular drug tests. So everything was about to fall apart for him. So he came to me when he was struggling. Now, we worked with James for a year, one-on-one, doing the work needed on himself. And we focused on one thing at a time. So the first thing we focused on was helping him to get clean and sober off of meth. And then what we did, we worked on him improving his relationship with his mother, and then his friendships, and then worked on helping him find a partner. And then also, what did he want to do with his life? And I can tell you now, 3 years later, that he has now been free of meth for over 3 years now. He has a long-term relationship. He studied and has completed his studies in. He wants to be a drug and alcohol counselor to help other people who were struggling with it as well. So he's just finished his studies there, and he's also lost 40 kilos as well. And this is just from him working through some of the stuff that he was struggling with as a younger queer man and deciding that he needed to make some changes. And I'm super proud of him to make those changes in his life. So really wanted to start by sharing a little bit about my journey as well. When I was younger, when I was in school and in the workplace, I was bullied severely. Now I'm talking every single day at school. I was called a loser, a faggot, a poofter. I was pushed around. I was ganged up on by groups of other, kids. I was fearful of going to school every single day. I was afraid of going to the bathroom because those were the types of places that were the unsafest for me. And so for me, coming out was a major struggle. I managed and dealt with anxiety, social anxiety. I dealt with depression, and I even dealt with suicidal thoughts. So it was a very difficult time period for me as well. And coming out was a major struggle for me. And when I did finally come out, I was living a double life, meaning I would have my life on the Central Coast, which was about an hour and a half away from Sydney in Australia, which is where I used to live. And I would literally be at home in my room, isolated, pushing away my entire family because I didn't want them to see who I was, because if they did, I was afraid that they would also hate me and bully me as well. And I couldn't handle that. And then the other time I would go down to Sydney and go to the party scene, the clubs, the nightclubs. And I would see all these other queer people living their best life, looking happy and successful and all of these things, and feeling, wow, like maybe there is possibility for something more for me. And so I would get caught up in drinking, heavily binge drinking, which is a big culture in Australia. I got caught up in drugs as well. And so I would go out, 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week and get caught up in that kind of a world. Now, I was someone who's always wanted to find love, to find a partner, right? And the thing is as queer people, we struggle with things like rejection, deeper rejections, within ourselves as well. And that's because we've been rejected by our families, we've been rejected by society, we've been rejected by friends, being rejected by colleagues, whatever it is being, right? We've dealt with a lot of rejection, and that has built up over time to the point where it can overflow. So any little small bit of rejection can be a bigger thing than it would be for most normal, heteronormative people there as well. So for me, I struggled with that. And so, I had these ups and downs, and would continue struggling with my mental health because the stories that I would tell myself was that I'm not good enough. I'm a loser. I'm unworthy. And, I'm unlovable. And I kept getting scenarios that would prove those right. When men wouldn't find me attractive, I wouldn't, like people didn't want to get to know me or whatever it was. And so I'd always had a deep desire to help other people in the queer community. I dabbled in personal development. But the problem is that I never followed through with any of the teachings because, every single teacher was, heteronormative or cisgendered, and they didn't understand kind of the struggles that I went through. And they always had a one size fits all kind of model that if you do this, it's going to work for you. And so for me, I didn't resonate with the person, and I never followed through with the work that much. And so being a perfectionist as well, like, if I also didn't understand what it was or didn't trust it, I wouldn't give it a go. And so I would often never see myself growing. I felt like, when I'm, if I could be in my 20s or my 30s, and I would still feel like like a little boy, right? I still felt like a little kid, like that. I was that Peter Pan. I was never going to grow up because I just like for me to take those steps it took a lot of, would take a lot of courage and a lot of, fear would come overcome me. And so for me, I would get in the cycle of like anytime I would feel like negativity or any of my mental health stuff with anxiety, what I would do is I would go and drink and I would go and take drugs and I would go out and party and try to forget about it. So I would numb myself and I would avoid those feelings because I didn't want those. I lived with those for many, many years when I was in the closet. And so coming out, I tried to push them back, but they would inadvertently come up and down, up and down. And so my life was like a yo-yo for many, many years until we hit COVID a few years ago. Back in 2000, I had an absolute rock bottom moment. So this is me working in the corporate world. I had a team of 300 people. I'm working from my house. I live on my own, isolated, couldn't see anybody. Everyone's expecting all this stuff from me. They're all falling apart. I'm having to help everyone else mentally because of the struggles that everyone was going through and to put on a brave face. But behind the closed doors, I was drinking excessively. I was going on drug benders and just not able to control or handle myself. And I woke up one day from 2 days of pretty much being blackout wasted to realize that I hadn't fed my dog. I hadn't taken my dog outside for a walk. And I just saw myself looking in the mirror and I said, like, enough is enough. Like, how long are you going to treat yourself this way, expecting that someone else is going to come and save you and fix you? You need to start doing that for yourself. And so I decided in that moment that I needed to change. And I was ready to do it. And I really wanted to do it as well. And so one day at a time, I took one step at a time. I tried to throw myself into everything. I saw every single personal development course with Tony Robbins or Brendon Burchard or Grant Cardone or Mel Robbins, all of the big gurus. I took them all. I was doing something every single week. I joined Gay AA and started doing that. I got a sponsor because I just wanted to do everything possible. And I got myself so busy to the point where I was, up from 4 a.m. in the morning all the way till 8 or 9 o'clock at night, just busy. I decided that I was ready to start my coaching business and I jumped all in. And so I was working 60 hours a week in my corporate job, doing another 40 plus in my business, doing fitness every single day. I lost 10 kilos of weight because I was overweight at the time because I just was not taking care of myself. And so I just was doing everything all at once, right? Because that's what I got told by the gurus. Just do everything all at once, change it all. It's easier, do it all, right? And so I worked so hard over the next, say, almost 9 months to the point where I was able to leave my job. And then I ended up moving to Bali, which is where I live now. And I came here and after finally having a chance to breathe, everything came crashing down for me. I was like, wow, like I've been running on empty. I've been trying to, instead of using alcohol and drugs to avoid and numb myself, I was just throwing myself into being busy, busy so I didn't have to deal with the emotions. And so for the first month or two when I came to Bali, everything came crashing down. I just had to kind of decompress, take a step back, and realize that there has to be a better way. There has to be a different way, right? I can't be throwing myself doing everything all at once, you know? And I realized that I needed just to look at my life and just focus on one thing at a time. And that's what I did. Instead of dealing with like everything, I focused on what was the first thing. And so the first thing for me was, getting my mental state and emotional state in focus. Then after that, I decided that, I was ready to start dating again. So I put myself back into the dating scene. Within a couple of months, I found a partner, which is fantastic for me, who I've been with now for 3.5 years. The next thing was my business. And I focused on getting that ready and into a stable position. And then the next thing was the physical. I got myself a personal trainer because I'd lost all this weight, but I was now super skinny and I wanted to put on muscle and start focusing on my health, my wellness. And so taking it one step at a time was important for me. And as I was doing this journey, helping out, I was helping out so many other queer people, I was feeling really fulfilled. And I would notice that there was all these other coaches out there, coaches, LGBTQIA plus coaches, queer coaches, who were really trying to do this, to do great things. And I would see them come and they would go. And I was always wondering why? I'm like, why are they doing this and then they're not? And so I would chat to a couple of them and I realized how much of the struggle it is. And I can talk as well from my experience for queer people to be able to grow, especially in the world of social media and, personal development. Of course, if you're, someone who's on OnlyFans and all those things, then, it can be a lot easier for you as a queer person to get yourself out there and do those things. But when you're trying to help other queer people, it really is a struggle. And if you can, think about it, is there any, queer coaches or healers or gurus out there that you can see or hear about that are really big and doing big things? There isn't. And I've always wondered why that is, which is why, me going on a deeply spiritual journey to try to answer that question, I realized that it's because that we, as a community, we have been marginalized. We have been, there's been a lot of struggles, right? And oftentimes when you have that, it's really hard for people to step up and become a leader in certain areas, which is why it led me to create, QueerQuest, which is the world's first online personal development platform for people in the queer community. I wanted to be a place where all of these other queer coaches and healers and gurus and teachers could come and put their work on a platform. And as a queer person who's really needing to find some support and some help, they can go to one place and then they can learn from the teacher that they best resonate with. I also know myself that, like, if I had a goal of saying, I want to help every queer person in the world, I know that's not possible. I know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I know that not everybody wants to learn from me, and I'm okay with that. But I also want to know, like, how can I help those people without them needing to necessarily learn from me? How can I build a platform where I can support other people in the queer community who are teachers, who are coaches, who are gurus, and who are people who have a message to share and really are going to be, someone's teacher and someone's guru. And that's where QueerQuest was formed. And I've had an up and down journey, but the fantastic thing about it is I've learned a lot along the way about what works and what doesn't work for people in the queer community, which is a fantastic thing to understand and comprehend as well. And that's why, like I said, I believe that in order for us to step up into kind of being able to do that as queer people, we need to be awakened, which is why I talk about being, going on a queer awakening. That's waking ourselves up to the truth of what's actually going on, waking ourselves up to the most authentic version of ourselves and seeing that if we can shine, we also can help other people shine. And doing that together with the support of our community is something that I believe is important for us to be able to do. It's great to learn from, the big names, Julie Robbins and all that. But the thing that I understood from going to those places was that they had a one size fits all. And also didn't have people going into those rooms. I felt very aligned because I always felt like I was the only queer person there. Now, I probably wasn't, but it didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was part of a community there. Actually, there was some reasons where I actually felt excluded and I felt discriminated against in certain spaces, which also makes it harder for people who are in the queer community to get the personal development, to get the learnings, especially when it's not a safe space and a safe environment. I know how many times I've walked into a room and just walked right out because I just didn't feel safe or comfortable with where I was at that moment. And I don't want that to happen. I want queer people to have a space that they can go to, that they can grow and take that version with themselves as well. So, of course, I've spent 20 plus years doing this, as I said, and I've discovered a few things the hard way as well. And I believe that if you're struggling right now and you're listening to this, then I know a few things that are probably going to tell you why. Because the hard way, the things that we've been forced to do for the past 50 years. So this is the things that I've had to spend my life trying to learn to get to a place where I am today. So I did a counseling degree. I spent 4 years doing a counseling degree. Healing retreats. I've been on all these different kinds of retreats, plant medicine retreats, other kinds of yoga retreats, trying to find my spirituality, find my queerness and understand those things in places that weren't queer, right? I've gone and done every Tony Robbins course that he has online. It's called Tony Robbins University. I've been in a coaching mastermind where I learned how to run a business and do all these things as well. And that's where I was voted the most valuable coach. I've done my NLP master certification, and I also work for the organization that helps coach and teach other coaches on how to be, skilled in the art of NLP. I've done years of therapy, years of coaching. I've done all these different programs, and I've probably spent over $250,000 in over 20 years doing it the hard way. And the reason why it was the hard way for me there is because it wasn't an avenue like what there is when it comes to, say, QueerQuest, where as a queer person, I can go somewhere and I can feel safe, I can feel supported, and I can learn from queer experts. So that's going to say, like, if I could learn from queer experts, I think the amount of time that I would have saved over those 20 years would have been monumental. Because yes, I learned so much stuff in this stuff, but how much did I apply because I didn't feel resonating with whoever was teaching it, or that they understood my problems, and all that. I felt like, how was I going to implement that in the life, as a queer person as well? So what I'm going to be able to do today is I'm going to show you how queer personal development is the key to achieving joy and inner peace. And we're going to do that in just 45 minutes. So we're going to talk about the 3 secrets of queer excellence. So secret number 1 is how generic personal development is failing you. I want you to discover the queer-centric approach that transforms lives. Number 2 is how fear is a sign you're on the right path, and how to embrace it and move forward. And then the 3rd secret is how waiting for the right moment is stopping you, and why now is the time to start your queer quest. So let's talk about number 1, how generic personal development is failing you. And I want to, like I said, help you to understand and discover the queer-centric approach that transforms lives. Now, I'm pretty sure that most people understand in life that we are holistic human beings. We are multifaceted humans. We have all these different sides and aspects of who we are as queer individuals, right? And when we look at the queer wellness wheel of life, which is what I'm going to show you in just a moment, you'll see that there are actually 12 different sides to us as queer humans. Now, we've got our physical human body, right? That's everything that we, put into our body, the fitness, how we move, right? We've got our mental side. We've got our emotional side. We have our spiritual side as well. I would just why so many people, are here today is because of their spiritual side, right? We've also got our social aspect. We've got our intimate relationships, side of ourselves as well. We have our career or our entrepreneurial side. We have our financial side, how wealthy we feel and the things that we do, because of course we know that money can affect a lot of how we are in life as well. And if we can get that in order, boom. We have our environment. We know for queer people that where you grow up in the world or what family you grow up can have a huge impact on you as a queer individual. So environment is very important. We have recreational things, so things you like to do for fun, your hobbies, right? Maybe someone who likes to travel, maybe you like to play sports. All of that is part of who you are as well. We also have our cultural background as well, right? Now that could be where you grew up, what country, could be your race, it could be your family heritage. It could also be, a specific like what category you fall into in the LGBT community as well. And then finally, we have our identity. And this is what I like to class as our queer identity. This is the deeper understanding of who we are inside and how we identify and what that identifying label means to us. Now, I know some people say I don't like to use labels, but we're human beings and we all label things one way or another, right? So it could be that, for example, for myself, I identify as a gay man. I identify as gender fluid. I identify as queer. I identify as a coach and a healer, right? I could keep going on and on and on, but I think you understand that's what we talk about when we talk about queer identity as well. And so we have a lot of different sides. And so it's very hard to keep focused and growing because, one time you might be really focused on trying to, sort out finding a partner, a relationship. So you focus on an intimate relationship. But then because you're so focused on that, you might forget some of your social relationships, your friendships, or you might forget some of your, you're not as passionate about what you're doing for your career anymore because you're so interested in this relationship, right? We've all gone through different things at different times, right? And so you might have this life where you really feel like you're out of balance. It's hard for you to juggle everything, right? Because there's so many things. And that was me as well growing up. I struggled often to try to juggle everything at once. And then when I had my rock bottom moment during COVID and, I tried to pick myself up from that, I tried to do everything all at once. And that's when I fell apart because I was trying to do everything all at once. And so I've dabbled in a lot of personal development over the years, and I've made a lot of major changes to my life and my routine. And, even then, when I was trying to juggle everything all at once, the cards came tumbling down. I couldn't do it all at once. And when I came to Bali, and I said to you, when it all fell apart, I had to unlearn what I was taught from all the gurus. I had to uncover a new and a better way as a queer person. And I had to find and realize that in doing one thing at a time, I'm actually focusing a lot of my energy all at one thing and doing great. And then when that's in order, I focus on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And I build strength in all areas of that. So when I focus on one thing at a time, I start with the highest priority. I was like I said, when I came to Bali, I needed to, when I was falling apart, I focused on my mental and emotional state. Those were the things that I focused on. And then when I was in a good state there, I focused on the relationship because I started dating. And then it was the business stuff. And then it was social friendships. And then it was physical health and all those things, right? So, but because I got them in order, I realized that when I helped out my mental and emotional state, I was going to be better in the relationship that I was in. I was going to be better in my business, right? So it's about figuring out what are the things that are the most important, and they're also going to help you in the other areas, which is why when we look at, say, QueerQuest Pro and what we do each month, QueerQuest Pro has been built to design for people to go on a 12-month journey. So every single month, people will come to a specific workshop that is run by me and other of the queer experts in QueerQuest, and we focus specifically on one area every single month. So one month it might be your mental and emotional. Another month it might be your business and career. Another month it'll be finances. Another month it will be your environment. So we go into a 2-3 hour workshop every single month, and then you get to spend the rest of the month focused on that area. All of the other people who are in QueerQuest will be doing that as well. And so you get to build a community and you get support from not only the coaches and the experts like myself, you get actual support from the other people who are doing it as well. Because each of the quests that come out that month are focused on that area. So we know that we're going to spend 12 months focused on each area. And it helps you to really get compounding results as well. And that's why it works. And that's why I keep doing it in my life, because I see that the value of doing that every 12 months, focusing on an area. And then 12 months later, I go, wow, I'm in a completely different place in my life. So I'm going to look back on that area again and go, wow, how can I even make it even better than it is right now? And so I'm going to go through some steps of really understanding why focusing on queer-centric approach is going to transform your life as well. So number one is accept yourself where you're at right now. Instead of judging it and saying I should be here or I should be there, or I want to be here or I want to be there, just accept where you are right now. Because when we can accept where we are right now, that's when we can finally surrender and start to realize that maybe I need to make a plan as to what's next for myself. Number two is realize your potential. So here, as you can see on the screen, this is the Queer Wellness Wheel of Life. And as you can see, there's 12 different sections to it. And it covers all of the things that I mentioned before: the mental, emotional, spiritual, career, finances, social, intimate relationships, recreation, environment, cultural, identity, and the physical as well. So these are those 12 areas of yourself as a queer individual that you get focused on. And as you said, there's 12 sections, there's 12 months of the year, and we focus on one of these every single month. And as you can see, over a 12-month period, you'll see the amount of growth that you as a queer person can have as well. Number 3 is following a proven plan. And I told you that every single month at QueerQuest, we focus on a different area of the Queer Wellness Wheel of Life. And as you can see, you've got in January, for example, self-identity and queer excellence. Then you've got in April, spirituality and inner peace. Then say in July, we're looking at financial health. And then October, it's about contribution and activism. How can we give back to and help our other people in the queer community? And then December, reflection and rest, looking throughout the whole year and really reflecting on your year and giving yourself a chance to rest so that you can move forward into the next year in a fantastic way. So that's the kind of plan that we would focus on. And that's where we see to get the best results. That's how I've seen myself get the best results and why I do it along with all of the participants. So me in January, where we're teaching self-identity and queer excellence, that's the month that I'm focusing on that for the month as well myself. And so I practice what I preach along with the other queer coaches and experts as well. Then another key aspect of it is building your community. And when you are doing something, I'm sure you can probably look at this as well and go, hang on, in the past, I have tried to do so many things on my own. And when I try to do it on my own, and maybe at the beginning I'm really motivated, but after a little while, I lose that motivation. You might resonate with that. I know I can be. But when you have a supportive community of other people who are doing it and cheering you on and are there for you when you may be struggling, it's when you don't give up. And so, which is why we believe at QueerQuest, community is a big part of that, because I know that I've spoken to, like I said, hundreds, if not thousands of people out there in the queer community over the past 4 years. And one of the key, things that I hear from so many people is that they don't find that they have a supportive group of people in the queer community that they can connect with, that, are motivating for them, that are all like, spiritual even, right? And so finding a community and like they are a QueerQuest, everyone's kind of in that same headspace. So when you come to QueerQuest, you're not only coming for the healing, the growth, your own personal journey, you also come to build your tribe, to build your community, to build lifelong friends as well. And because, it makes it easier for you on the journey of growth or of healing, that instead of the struggle, it actually becomes easier because you've got a community of people who are there for you as well. Now, as I said to you, my total investment to learn all this was over $250,000 and over 20 years of my life, right? And so I want to share with you one of my clients, Jay, who came to me, who is someone who is a go-getter and who's someone who has struggled in certain aspects of his life because he was so focused on other areas and realized that was the things that were holding him back. So let me just share with this.
Hey, it's Jay Richters here, and I just wanted to give a massive shout out to Christiano Green for his incredible coaching. So I've been following Christiano for probably about 12 months and finally reached out to him and had a 45-minute session with him and realized that, yep, this guy's the real deal and I wanted to work with him. And so I signed up for what was going to be a 12-month coaching program. And gotta say, within the first session, I had a massive kind of breakthrough and yeah, started to have some things unfold and some realizations. And then I continued working with him for another couple of sessions, and everything in my life has literally transformed, the areas that I was wanting to work on the most. And the number one area for that was actually love and meeting someone, because I was sick and tired of the gay scene, the dating apps, all of that sort of stuff. But Cristiano has a keen sense of asking the exact right questions to make a person sit there and think about and elicit the responses that they need to actually elicit to make them understand who they are, where they are, and what they want. So I just want to give you a massive shout out, Cristiano, because Literally, I feel so blessed to have had the time that we spent together. I actually
Perfect. I'll stop it there because it just keeps going on and thanking you, which is fantastic, of course, and I appreciate that. But it's when we get a sense of like how quickly things can change once you get into and find the right kind of mentor. Like I said, if someone was queer, he'd done a lot of different things in the past, but he wasn't getting the results. So he finally reached out and found someone who he resonated with, asked him the right questions, and then quickly how life changed for him, which is obviously something that, means a lot to me as well. So who is this going to work for? Now, as you can see here, as I click this button, works for any single person who is in the queer community. It doesn't matter, like we don't discriminate at all, of course. Any person who's gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, non-binary, polyamorous, gender fluid, non-conformist. I know I couldn't put every single subsection on here, but it works for every single person in the queer community because, again, we'll be having queer experts from every single area. As we grow each month, we're going to get new experts to bring out new quests. So it's going to be it's like an evolving program when it comes to each month like that. You're going to see that, at one point you're going to be like, which quest will I take next, right? Because there's going to be so many of them, right? But the fantastic thing is, like I said, you just take one at a time. You focus on the area that we're focused on, and then you'll have time to do those others as well. So some of the things that we want to focus on, like when we're looking at generic personal development, we're going to look at what are some of the limitations of generic personal development. What are the gaps? What is, do they understand intersectionality, right? Because oftentimes there's a one size fits all, and they don't take account for those minority groups. And so the one size fits all is great for, the cisgendered heteronormative, perspective, but it doesn't necessarily work for people who are in the queer community as well. Now we have to question the applicability for us. We've got to reflect on our own personal experiences. Have we been in generic personal development courses? We've got to identify what are the missing elements and then engage in discussion and talk to queer people, which is what I've been doing for the last, 4 years. And then for us, when we're looking at creating something that is not generic, that's queer-centric, we've got to identify the unique needs. So what are the details of assessments of people who are in the queer community? What are their personal goals? What are the external factors that are at play here? What is, the areas that we want to prioritize for growth? And then how do we get and have specialized expert professionals in all the areas that are specific for people in the queer community as well? And then, seek out queer resources. Here again, as we said, finding the specialized people, joining the specialized supportive community, learning from queer experts, role models, having a resource, resource list of quests that people can take. And then also, how do we get people to participate? And also, is there opportunities for mentorship or one-on-one coaching, right? Because we all know that, like I said, not every single person will come in and, will get everything. Then sometimes people need some detailed one-on-one support, which is why we also have that available at QueerQuest, because the queer coaches and the experts, they're also one-on-one coaches with us as well. So you can pick and choose if you're someone who does need to find a new level as well. Implement strategies. This is the most important part, right? Because for me, I went and did so many personal development courses, right? But I never implemented the strategies because I didn't find it resonated with me. I didn't find it was like that. I was supported in that avenue to succeed. I still felt like a minority in a majority, and that my voice really wasn't supported or heard as well. Okay. So I really want to talk about one of my clients, Lisa, who came to me a couple of years ago. And Lisa was struggling because recently she lost her father. And her and her father were really, really close. But she was struggling because she is a lesbian and she had kept that from her father because she was afraid that her father wouldn't accept it and then he would not love her anymore. And so she was dealing with this huge amounts of guilt and shame because she hadn't expressed who she was and now she never got the opportunity to do so. And so we had to work with Lisa on how, and this was affecting her life. It was affecting her getting a relationship. It was affecting her career. It was affecting her mental state. It was also affecting her physical weight because since her father had also passed, she put on like 20 kilos. So we had to work through a lot of those things, help her to deal with the grief and deal with the guilt and deal with the shame, deal with the anger and the fear and all of the emotions that came with it so that she could move forward in her life. And we were able to do that over a 6-month period. And the results for Lisa were she lost all of the weight and even some more. She went to the fittest, she'd ever been in her life. To the point where I saw a photo the other day, she was lifting, leg press and there was like 200 kilos on there. It's more than I can even do. So go Lisa. And Lisa was able to get into a new relationship. And also she was able to change the career path that she was on. She was in accounting and she has now started her own business where she supports other accountants who are looking to progress and start their own businesses as well. So fantastic things that can happen when we deal with some of the emotional stuff there. And we focused on the areas that were important, but we could see how much it affects other areas of their life as well. Now, again, as I said, I believe that the world of generic one size fits all needs to go. And I want to say that no more generic one size fits all. Like we're in 2024, and we need to understand that generic customer development is failing you as a queer person, and only a queer-centric approach will really transform your life. Because one, you will resonate. One, you have a proven path. 3, you have a supportive community, and 4, you've got like I said, if you've got results proof to back it all up as well. So that's secret number 1.
Are you ready to embark on a journey of transformation that's uniquely yours? Welcome to QueerQuest, the world's first and best personal development platform created by and for the queer community. Imagine a space where your authenticity isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. A place where you can grow, learn, and thrive alongside a vibrant community that understands you. At QueerQuest, we're more than just a platform. We're a family. Connect with like-minded individuals, share your stories, and empower each other to reach new heights. Our tailored courses are designed to address the unique experiences of the queer community, from self-love and confidence building to career advancement and beyond. We've got you covered. It's time to step into your power and transform your journey. Join us today at courses.queerquest.vip, see what we're all about, and sign up to begin your quest.
Let's go on to secret number 2, which is how fear is a sign that you're on the right path and how to embrace it and move forward in your life. Now, we all know that, say, fear and shame are human emotions, and we all go through them. Now, they can rule our lives, especially with queer people. Now, I myself have a long and torrid past with fear and shame. Now, I know many of you out there grew up in different areas than we are in today. And, of course, we've made a lot of steps forward as, queer people. Of course, we're nowhere near where we should be. And some places are going backwards in the world when it comes to the rights of human rights of people in the queer community. But there are some places in the world where it's much better and some places where it's awful, right? Like to the extreme awful. And when I grew up, 20 years ago, to me, it was not the way it was today at all. And so I grew up in a coastal town where there was no openly gay or queer people around. I never saw anyone like me. There was no good representation on television of queer people. And anytime that there was something that you do with queer, I kind of shunned away from it because they didn't want to, be caught looking at something. Because I was afraid of what my family would think or assume about me. And any of the stuff that I would see of gay people on TV was very stereotypical. There was one kind of, really effeminate gay person. And oftentimes they were in shows where they were just like, a handbag to a woman. They weren't a main character. Or they were in shows like, say, CSI, where people got attacked or killed and it was a criminal acts, right? And so it didn't give you this very good representation of what it would be like to live as a queer person. And I struggled with that. I really did. That created a huge amount of fear and a huge amount of shame for who I am. And that led me to push my family away because, I was getting bullied severely at school. I was afraid that if I showed any part of myself that they might see it and they also might hate me as well. And that would have really probably sent me over the edge and, really, really, like, I don't want to think about it, to be honest. So really what that did though, is that led to poor ways of coping, like instant gratification. And I'm talking about alcohol and drugs, prescription medication, sex, porn, food, all of those kinds of things, right? And when I, had my entrance into the gay scene, the queer scene of Sydney, before going there, I had zero friends. Zero friends. I was an absolute lone wolf, a loner. And then I was in the queer scene and I had all these friends and I was going out every single night of the week, right? So I was someone who went from one extreme to the other. And so it took me a long time to get to a point of even coming out because of the fear and the shame. But of course, I was living a double life, right? My family didn't know what I was doing, where I was going. I was out, I'd come home and I would just lock myself in the room. I wouldn't answer any questions, right? Because I was a dog. But I really got caught up in that scene, really got caught up to the point where, like, I even, went to hospital 6 times from overdosing from drugs. Like, that's how deeply I was into it. And I didn't have any self-worth to come out and go, I shouldn't do this to myself. I just thought like that was normal because all of the other people that I was around were also doing those kinds of things. Now, this affected every single other part of my life. I'm talking about my health. I'm talking about my mental side, my emotional side, my career. I got fired from a number of jobs in that period. Relationships, of course, like, being in alcohol and drugs fueled situations. There were so many different situations with friendships that kind of went out the window. I didn't, I couldn't, I was a hot mess. So there was no relationship that I was going to be in with a partner that was going to be healthy, right? So it affected every single aspect of my life as well. And, something had to change in my life. And it did a number of times, at small periods of times, I would make a small change. But being a perfectionist, I never kind of saw myself growing. I still felt like I was still that little kid because I had yet to deal with a lot of the emotional baggage that I was holding on to and carrying as well. Now, of course, moving forward, over the past number of years, I've worked with hundreds of people in the queer community. And of course, that's helped me realize a few things. Now, when we do the easy thing in life, life becomes hard, right? When we just take the easy way out, life becomes hard. But when we do the hard things in life becomes easy. So what are the hard things? It's like dealing with the stuff that struggles, dealing with your negative beliefs, dealing with like those years where you were bullied, right? Actually accepting and moving past that, dealing with, your negative relationships that you've caused with that, dealing with the fact that I was, drinking and taking drugs to cope and manage my emotions, right? Dealing with that was difficult, but it made life easier because I no longer had the daily stress or the daily overwhelm or the need to wake up with anxiety and then feel like, okay, I can't wait till I can have a drink now because the drink is one of the only things that would help alleviate the anxiety, right? I had to do the hard things to make it easier and free myself as well. Now, recently, like literally a couple of months ago, I found out that one of my old friends who I was really close with when we would go out, we were the type of person that would go out 3-4 times a week together. We were always the last one standing. We were always the ones that would tell and spill each other our deep, darkest secrets, that kind of a friend. Found out recently that he died of a drug overdose. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. One, because this is a close friend of mine and we spent all this time and I knew him so well and he's gone because of a drug overdose. Second is that another queer person is gone too soon. Another queer person has become a statistic in the queer community. Now, when we look at the mental health numbers, every single category, the queer community is 3 times higher than the general population. So that means we're 3 times more likely to deal with anxiety and depression and loneliness and substance abuse and addictions and even suicide. And so an overdose, they class that in some areas as almost like a suicide, right? Because he got himself to that point, right? And so it also hit me like a ton of bricks because I realized that how easily that could have been me. I said a few minutes ago, I've been to hospital 6 times from drug overdoses, right? Now we are only one decision away from a totally different life. And I'm so grateful that back then a few years back, I decided that I needed to sort my stuff out. I wish I'd been able to help my friend, but he's not going to go in vain. He's one of the main reasons why QueerQuest is being built off the back of helping people like that, because I don't want to lose any more friends. I don't want to lose any more in our community to things that I believe that we can help solve, and there are solutions out there, you know? That's the deeper truth about fear and shame, is that we shouldn't let the fear rule our life. We should understand where it comes from, and we should be able to take a step forward and go, okay, me doing this is because I'm afraid. It means something to me. I need to learn out how I can overcome that fear and use it wisely to actually move forward as well. And same with the shame. Anything that comes to us that we are ashamed of, we need to face those things, because shame is almost just someone else's perception of life and they put it on you. And we had to live by a lot of other people's perception of how life should be. And that's caused us to feel a lot of shame about who we are. And I'm here to say that QueerQuest is built off the back of this, because we should not be feeling shame for other people's versions of reality. And we shouldn't be fearful of getting help and getting support, because there is opportunities, there are pathways forward, and we need to be able to embrace that and move forward as well. So what are some of the steps? As I said before, acknowledge and understand your fear. What does the fear mean to you? And acknowledge it there. Like, instead of running around and pretending it's not there and just avoiding it, like I've done for many years and knowing myself with substances, acknowledge and understand it. 2, learn how to reframe it. Instead of being fearful of something, how can you build up courage to take that next step in your life as well? 3rd thing, build your support network, right? Find the queer community that is supportive of you, your vision, your dreams, your purpose, your passion, your future, right? Because whenever you're fearful and you've got the right support system around you, you're going to be able to move forward, because the right support system, the right tribe will propel you forward, even in those dark moments. Number 4, take intentional action forward. Stop wasting time. Time is not infinite, and we need to learn how to take action, and the right action to move forward and do the things that are important to you in your life as well. So what if we used to having religion? Everything's been generic, as I saw. Generic therapy, generic coaching, generic courses, generic wellness, generic healing, generic prescription medication, right? Almost like you go to the doctor these days, all they want to do is throw medication at you to fix a problem that half the time could be solved if you just made some different changes in your life, to your health, to your mental side, to your emotions, right? But they throw medication at you like it's candy and expect that you're going to just go away, or you're going to be addicted to that medication and need it to the rest of your life, because, hey, I'm depression. I'm a depressed person. I've got depression. I need to take medication and I need to take it forever. Otherwise, I'm going to be depressed. Instead of really understanding, where does that come from? What do we need to do? It's all generic, right? And now this is what I'm talking about when we talk about a new way, a better way. And that's what I've been sharing with QueerQuest Pro, which is queer-centric personal development that's there to help you overcome your fears, your shame, and anything else that's been struggling. And you can help you to build like a supportive tribe, a supportive community as well, that you can move forward with in whatever direction is important to you in your life, right? There is no one size fits all. The queer-centric approach is almost the same as like, there are that like however many colors are in the rainbow with such a spectrum. It's the same way when we look at queer-centric personal development. There is no one size fits all. It's customized to the individual. And we have, like I said, experts in all the different areas who you can relate to, who you can learn from, who you can grow from as well. I want to share with you one of my clients, Q. And Q is non-binary. And Q came to me because they were struggling with their identity at the point they had not fully grasped it, to the point of like they had understood that they felt this way. They didn't necessarily know the terminology for what they were feeling. And they also didn't know how to express it to people in their life, because they felt like they didn't have the right support system around them. They didn't know, they had a close family, but they didn't think that their family were on the same level to understand these kinds of choices and changes that, you know, Q was going through in their life. And so we worked together over a number of like a period of time, and Q was able to come to terms and understand and really, like I said, identify with being non-binary and what that meant to them in their life. And we also worked to the point where like Q was able to build up a support system. Q found some other friendships that were also in the queer community that they could talk to and relate to. And we also, found a couple of key people in their family that they trusted enough to be able to share the information with. And fantastic thing for Q is that it went really well. And because of that, those people helped bridge the gap to the other people. And now the whole family does understand it and is supportive of Q and Q's choices in life. And it all came because Q was ready to be authentic in who they were as human being, right? As a queer human being as well. Now, overcoming fear, it used to be difficult. It used to be really tough, but that's not a fact anymore. We're in 2024 and fear is now fuel for you to be able to make some changes. Fear used to be like we would run away and hide all the time. And we're just not going to do that anymore. We're queer people in 2024. We're no longer hiding in the shadows, looking for the crumbs that the heteronormative people are throwing at us. We're standing tall and saying, I want to take the piece of the pie because I deserve to have a seat at the table as well. And so if you're someone who believes that, you deserve that seat at the table, you're no longer accepting those crumbs, then you've got to understand that overcoming your fear and taking a step forward is actually the key for you to get that success. So before we jump on, secret number 2 is, as I said, fear is a sign that you're on the right path, and I want you to learn and embrace it and move forward. And I want to understand here, who here thinks that Queer-Quest Pro sounds awesome? And if there's queer people out there who really need support, that something like Queer-Quest is going to be awesome for people who are really out there and in need. That's right. I agree that this is really important for people who are out there in the queer community who are looking for support and guidance and healing and growth and community. That's the key thing there. So let's jump on to the final secret, which is secret number 3. And it is how waiting for the right moment is stopping you and why now is the right time to start your queer quest. Now, growing up, because of, being bullied and the life that I had, I told myself a lot of stories. Some of these being that I was unlovable and that there was something innately wrong with me. I've been single pretty much my whole life, never had a long-term relationship. I was always stuck in a lot of different short-term situationships. Dealt with huge amounts of rejection as a queer person myself. So many of us have dealt with rejection. And I really wanted to find a partner to love me because I couldn't do it myself. I thought that if someone could come and be in a relationship with me, that they would save me. I was looking for my Disney prince. I was looking for Prince Charming to come and save me, to come on the white horse and to sweep me up my feet. And then, they would love me and then that would help me love myself as well. Who here knows the story that doesn't end that way, right? With these movies that they make in Hollywood, these fairy tales are just that. That's not how it happens. Someone doesn't come to sweep us up our feet and solve all of our problems and then life becomes amazing, right? And because of that, I use substances like alcohol and drugs and prescription medication to avoid and numb my pain. The pain of loneliness, of heartache, of feeling like there was something innately wrong with me, right? And then, like you said, I had my rock bottom, a few years ago back in COVID, where literally like I woke up, after an alcohol bender and realized that like I need to make a change because like I've tried to wait for someone for 35 years of my life to save me and to fix me. It was time that maybe I just said, look, how about I try to fix myself? How about I start to fix, the things that I'm feeling are wrong with me, And so that's when I started to get help. That's when I started to change my life around. That's when I did all the healing and all the growing. I took on like 10 different programs and did them all at once. And I pulled myself out of the dating scene. And I made a plan. I left my corporate job. I was on a 6-figure salary. I had over 300 people in my team. And I started my coaching business and I moved to Bali. And then I said things crashed down again. Then I picked things up one at a time. And I got back in the dating scene. And the dating scene I thought was going to be completely different because I was different. I mean, I was only going to attract the high quality kinds of guys and the other people wouldn't be there. That wasn't the case. I still attracted all those other people that just wanted sex or just wanted to get something from me, who just wanted to take drugs and have fun or all those things, right? All those people who would be nasty and say really mean things to you, right? They were there. But the problem was this, well, the problem, the good thing was is that I didn't care about them anymore. I just said block and move on and blocked and move on. So I started filtering out all the things that I didn't want to have. And I was left with all of these different guys. I attracted different guys and we had different kinds of conversations because I was, instead of me feeling like, hopefully this person likes me and they'll save me and want me, I came in going, hey, I know I'm a good catch right now. I'm looking for someone who I believe is going to be a match with. So I'm going to ask some questions. And if I find that I like the answers, I'll catch up with them. And so I started going on dates. And within 2 months, I found my partner that I've been with for the past 3.5 years. Found him quite quickly. So I was in a different space. And I knew what I was looking for in the dating scene. And I had filtered out all the other stuff. And I didn't let those things bother me. Because before going online, if I got some negativity towards me, I would pull myself off of the dating apps. And I would do that for like a couple of months and just be like, oh, I need a break. It's too much. Because I couldn't handle the rejection. I couldn't handle those people saying those things to me. But when I worked through it and I realized, hang on a second, those things don't bother me at all, you know? And so I've been on this beautiful journey and I've grown so much from being in this relationship and so with my partner. We've faced further demons. We've had ups and downs, right? But we've also been able to create a life together. You know, I moved in with him. We have now 3 dogs and a cat. We just renovated a house and we've moved into it, just, where I am right now, my new house, right? We have a business of Airbnb stuff together. We work together. We've created a life together. And I realized that all those years when I was really deeply looking for someone to find me, I wasn't ready before. I was ready for a relationship before. And I now know as well in life that you don't get what you're not ready for. There's a saying that like God only gives you what you can handle, but he also doesn't give you those things that you're not ready for as well. So you sometimes in life, you have to help yourself get to the place of being ready so that you can take on those challenges and have those things. And if you're someone who's out there who's been waiting for love like I had, what can you do to be ready for it? What can you do that you've been putting off and you've been hoping that this person's going to come and save you and fix you, right? Why don't you start fixing yourself? And then you realize that like on the other side of that are the things that you desire. I always used to be the type of person that would say tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, I'll do it when I can have money. I do it on this. Like I would make up all the excuses why I couldn't do it, right? And and then I would act like the world wasn't giving me a chance. But the truth was that it took me having to say that today was the day that I needed to change. That day that I woke up in a sweat, I realized I hadn't fed my dog or walked her for 2 days. I looked at myself in the mirror. I said, today is the day. I'm no longer going to treat myself this way. So it's today, it's not tomorrow, it's not next week, it's not next month. And only we can get to that point. No one else can push us through the steps. We have to be the one that says that there. And I wish that I had started earlier and made that change earlier in my life. But I'm a person who doesn't live with any regrets. And I also know that if I had have started earlier, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have the relationship that I have today. And I probably wouldn't have the business that I am today. And I feel blessed today. So even though I had a long years of heartache and I could have saved myself that from just getting up and bored, that wasn't my path. So I'm blessed to be on the path that I am on today. And so there's no regrets as well. And that's where we talk about Queer-Quest, how it builds a community, how it connects you, how it helps you heal. And it allows you to do it with people from our community that you can trust. So there's no point saying tomorrow when you can join today and you can be a part of something bigger, right? So when we look at this, I want you to understand that there is no perfect moment to start. The only time is now, and the only opportunity you have to make a choice is now. And every time you say tomorrow, continues to be tomorrow, and tomorrow often never comes until you make it today. So acknowledge the illusion of the perfect moment. Second is understand the cost of waiting, right? How many years have you waited already? And what does it cost you? And then if you keep waiting, what's it going to cost you? Like, are you someone who's waiting for love or a relationship? Are you someone who's waiting to make a change in your career? Are you someone who's waiting to live authentically and show up authentically as who you are and show yourself to the world? What is the cost of waiting? Is it your happiness? Is it your peace of mind? Is it success? Is it love? What is it that you're waiting for? Because you need to understand that as well. Number 3 is, how do we make change manageable? When we talked about the old way, the hard way, where costing me $250,000 and 20 plus years, that was the old way, and that was a hard way. But the new way is where we have a queer-centric approach. There's a possibility for you to learn and grow and evolve from queer-centric teachers, queer experts. And everything is with the queer individual in mind. So that is the new way, and that makes it more manageable and more easier for people in this community. Number 4 is, I keep saying this, build a support network. Like, when you do something with other people, I think you're like 10 times more likely to achieve the goal because you've got support around you. And no better way to build that than build it from a community that's on the same path as you. So like I said, if you're a spiritual person in the queer community, you're wanting to have some more spiritual alignment, you're wanting to have your queer awakening, why not go on that path with others who are also wanting the same things, that are also deeply into that kind of stuff as well? And then see what that can bring you into your own life as well. I want to share, one final find, my Rob, who has been working with me for almost 4 years now. It's someone who we've done some solid work, and then he'll take a break, and then he'll come back and do some things. And so I'm really proud of Rob, because Rob was someone who had been in a different program with a different queer coach. And now, I don't want to share a lot of Rob's background, but Rob was someone who had quite a bit of finances in his back pocket, and he was in this program, and he was sharing that because he was trying to share about his life to the coach, and the coach took advantage of him and ended up conning him out of quite a bit of money. So that built up a lot of walls for Rob. Rob was going there because he hadn't been in a relationship for over 10 years. He had some medical problems, and it was affecting him, and he felt very lonely, and he got taken advantage of another queer coach. And so when Rob came to me, very much had his guards up, right? And so we got on a call, we had a conversation, and I kind of knew that I was like, you know what? I'm going to give you a few sessions free. Let's jump on. And if you feel like after that you've got value out of it, you pay for it. If not, then you know what? Thank you so much. It was a nice working with you. After 2 sessions, he signed up to me, and we worked together for 6 months. We helped him to get over the stuff that he had around his beliefs, around his health problems. We helped him to get back in the dating scene. We helped him to get healthy again as well with his weight and how he was treating his body. We helped him with some of his relationships with his mum, because he was in a bit of a toxic relationship with his mum as well. So we sorted all those things out, and we got Rob to be in a relationship, right? And now that Rob is in a different stage of his life, he's back working with me now, and we're working on a few other things for him as well. So I'm super proud that Rob decided that even though like he had been burned in the past, that he wasn't going to wait till tomorrow. He was like, I've been waiting 10 years. It's cost me all this stuff. It cost me a lot of money. If I keep putting off, it's going to cost me more things. And he decided that today was the right day for him. Queer excellence did used to be hard, and we know how hard it's been over time. And again, like I said, I'm only, 38 years old. I know that there are a lot of people out there who grew up in times way before me where it was a lot harder to be queer, or to be gay, or to be transgender, whatever part of the beautiful LGBTQIA plus community you're in. It should be difficult. Of course, it still can be, but it doesn't have to be in 2024. We can see that we are more visible. There's more positive representation. We've got people who are winning gold medals in the Olympics. We've got people who are on TV shows and who are worldwide pop phenomenons and artists. We've got people who are hosting talk shows and are in movies and all of that. And that's every single kind of person in the queer community. And for us to continue to rise, we need to rise as a community, which is why it's easier than ever when we have a queer-centric approach to it as well. So again, let's talk about the 3 secrets of queer excellence and cover that there. We had number 1, which was how generic personal development is failing you, and discover the queer-centric approach that transforms lives. 2, how fear is a sign that you're on the right path, and how to embrace it and move forward. And then 3, how waiting for the right moment is stopping you, and why now is the time to start your queer quest. Now, Again, I said earlier, if I follow queer experts, then I'll achieve queer excellence. And I want to ask you a question then. Do you believe if you had queer role models, queer experts who had expertise in all areas of life for queer individuals, that you could achieve what you needed in your life? That following an approach that is queer-centric instead of the one-size generic fits all, that you could get success, or you could get growth, or you could step forward in finding a relationship, or, changing your career, or, owning your authenticity as a queer individual, right? Do you think that learning from the right kinds of people is going to get you the right kind of results? So let's talk a little bit about QueerQuest Pro now in the last couple of minutes that we have, because I want to share with you the opportunity here and talk to you about it and to see if this is something that is right for you. So what are you going to get in it? So QueerQuest Pro is a 12-month program. So you get access to the QueerQuest platform, which hosts all of the quests, the courses from myself, and over the coming months, all of the other queer experts that are jumping on board to create courses and quests for you to take on board as well. You get access to all the meditations and all the sound healings that are specifically created for people in the queer community. So if you're someone who likes to meditate and you need some guided meditations, there's a lot of meditations in there that are created specifically for queer people and specific situations that relate to queer individuals as well. You get access to monthly workshops where we go through every single month, all of the 12 months, and we focus on one of the different areas of the queer wellness wheel of life. So every month you're seeing growth, and that compounds. And then the next month you get more growth, and you focus one thing at a time until the whole 12 months, you see a complete change and shift in your life and who you are as a queer person. You get access to a yearly event that we have, right? We run a yearly event, a massive live event, and it's filled with just queer people. And it's all about personal development, but we also have some fun in there as well. So it's a great one-day event, that day event as well. And you also get a one-on-one awakening call, which I'll share with you in a minute. So I told you a little bit about why I created it. I created it because I have struggled. I've done 20 plus years of personal development, and I wanted to find a better way for myself. And I knew that the generic one size fits all wasn't working, and I needed to see some changes. And I wanted to also support other queer coaches and healers and gurus who I believe are doing great things. And so this was a way that I could combine it all and follow a simple path that was there. So QueerQuest Pro, we've got the QueerQuest courses, you've got QueerQuest experts, and you've got the QueerQuest community. So you're going to take the quest, you're going to learn from the experts, and then you're going to build a community of other people in the queer community. Now, let's just read a couple of testimonials from people who I've worked with. This is Karina. Getting to go deep into the reasons why I have not been able to truly put myself first was groundbreaking for me. It shook me to my core in the best way possible. This journey is only just the beginning. It really is, Karina. Next was Mark from Sydney. I was at rock bottom when I found Christiano. I was so nervous about what would happen if I took that next step, but I was scared shitless more about what would happen if I didn't. So grateful I took it. I'm grateful you took it too, Mark. And then finally we got Keith. I was going through so many changes internally, and I didn't know which way to turn. Starting this journey to explore the depths of my queer identity and then create a life from there has been the best gift for myself. It really was for you, Keith. It really was. So who'd this work for? Again, I shared it before. It works for any single person who is in the queer community. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're someone who really is a part of the LGBTQIA plus community, who wants to go on that spiritual enlightenment, have your queer awakening, just grow, heal, evolve, find love, find a community, then QueerQuest Pro is for you. And again, if you don't know where to start, don't worry. You've got QueerQuest Pro, and we'll talk about the one-on-one awakening call in just a moment, because those are the two things that are going to help you to start strongly and take these next 12 months and move forward. So what are you going to get? As I said, first of all, first thing you're getting is 12 months of QueerQuest Pro membership, which is valued at $9.99 for the whole year of just access to the platform. And again, these are all the workshops that we have every single month. So January, working on self-identity and queer excellence. February, mental health and emotional wellness. You've got physical health and fitness in March. April is spirituality and inner peace. May is relationships and social life. June is career and entrepreneurial purpose. July is your financial health. August is creativity and self-expression. September is adventure and play. October, contribution and activism. November, learning and personal growth. And then December, reflection on the year and rest. So those are the things that you'll be able to focus on. Again, why I created it is because I believe that we're holistic beings as queer individuals, and it's about understanding the queer wellness wheel of life and being able to look at all of those different sides of ourselves, the different things that make up and affect our life, and really figure out how can I take them one by one and start to see growth and start to live authentically in all areas of my life as well. What our members get. So you get the monthly workshops in all those 12 areas of the queer wellness wheel of life. So again, you're going to sit down with me and the other queer experts for 2 or 3 hours every single month, where we do a focus on one of those areas that we just shared about here, right? So that's what you get. You get new courses every single month by myself and the queer experts, which are focused on the specific area of growth. So let's just say the month of January is self-identity and queer excellence. We also will do the workshop on that, and we will have a nice quest that you can take outside of that. That comes out that month as well. And then you get access to our queer experts in the social network. So you'll be on the social network. I myself, along with the other queer experts, will be in the chat rooms. So if you ask questions, we will give you advice, but you'll also be able to connect and talk to all of the other people that are in the in QueerQuest Pro as well, the other community members. And then, of course, we give you different workbooks and action plans that are queer-centric, that have you in mind, that are going to help you progress and move forward. You'll be able to be self-actualized, be like some of my other clients, find happiness, find peace, and really give yourself the kind of life that you're looking for, right? Whatever that is. Like I said, for Lisa, it was forgiveness and overcoming the grief and the shame and how that affects her life. For Rob, it was about trusting himself again and be able to move forward and find love. Those are the kinds of things that you'll be able to find as well. And you'll be able to get rid of. Look at all the lists of these things. Built from past promise, growing to your best self, discover what you love, uncover your purpose, transform your life, evolve into your authenticity, shed the baggage of the past, live each day to the fullest, build a supportive tribe, find your hidden new gifts, connect with your soul, release what isn't yours, own who you are, show up for yourself, and so much more. And this is what it's all for me. I've shared with you a few stories of my life today, and being able to do that, for me, understanding my purpose now and leading that and being queer-centric in my own life, it solved for me the stress, the anxiety, the overwhelm that I would feel on a consistent basis, that I wasn't good enough, that I had to keep pushing hard. I was a perfectionist, but I pushed, but it was never acceptable. I'm allowed to accept myself, live in my authenticity, share my message, live my purpose, have a fulfilling relationship, find fulfilling, friendships as well, like travel, do all the things that I wanted to do because I said yes to myself. It's about time that you answer. Are you ready to say, yes to you as well? So this is going to save you years and years of time and effort and energy trying to do it on your own, because I tried to do it on my own for many years, or I've been waiting for someone to save me. It's going to save you so much money over time, like money, whether it's on a therapist, whether it's on this program, whether it is spending money on going out and partying because, that's way that you're avoiding and numbing your problems, right? You've got to add up all the costs, not just the costs of the things that you do specifically for personal development, but also the things you're doing to avoid dealing with the problems that you have. Like, if I add that up, there's probably like 500,000, right? Like 250 for personal development, 250 for partying and avoiding all of the stuff as well. And don't worry, I guarantee it. So if you're someone who really is thinking about signing up for QueerQuest Pro, I guarantee it. If you sign up, you can go in there, you can start taking all the quests, you can even come to the first workshop. You've got 15 days. If you find after 15 days that QueerQuest Pro isn't the right thing for you, you're not seeing value or the results, then just send me an email, reach out to us via the support center, and we will cancel and give you a full refund, no questions asked, because I believe in the power of QueerQuest and what it can do for you and how much it can liberate you and help you to realize that, like, when we stand together, we are better. We are better than on our own, we can do only so much. But as a community, as a group, as a queer community, we're so much stronger. So why not support each other and move forward together as well? So what are you going to get? I said, you get your 12 months access to the QueerQuest platform where all the quests are from the queer experts and all the meditations. And then you get the 12 monthly QueerQuest expert workshops where we go every single month and we focus on one of the areas of the queer wellness wheel of life. You get the queer social network, as I've shared, right? And a QueerQuest Pro, it's about connecting to all the other people in that community because, again, them helping you move forward and progress in your life is only going to get you the results so much quicker. And I created it because, as I've shared earlier, all the mental health numbers, we're 3 times more likely to have mental health issues in the queer community because of the life that we've had to live growing up in a heteronormative cisgendered world. And so that means that 60% of us deal with anxiety, 50% of us depression. 1 in 3 will deal with substance abuse or addictions. 70% will deal with loneliness, and 1 in 10 will deal with suicide as well. So those numbers are crazy. I've lost people in my life to suicide, and I don't want anyone else. I don't want to lose another queer person, and I want us to be able to support each other, and that's why it's been created as well. Because I don't want people to feel lonely and isolated and on their own. Because everything inside, it's about building high quality queer connections. You can have wider and a broader network and more narrow and sub networks. So you're going to have the wider queer community, but you can also narrow it down and talk to people who are specific to you. Like, for example, if you're demisexual, there'll be a demisexual group as well. And as this is growing, we're looking for leadership people who are opportunities who want to go in there and be leaders within the community. And if you're someone who has that leadership ability and wants to shine and be a leader for, say, a subsection or a leader in the community, then because you're an earlier member, you get those opportunities, especially because someone who really has that desire. And then where can that lead you, right? Because I know that eventually what we want to do is we want to run certification programs and help other people become solid coaches and healers or whatever it is, so that they can also become coaches on QueerQuest. Right? Eventually, we want to be helping the members become coaches and then give back as a cycle, because why not? Help people, because again, that is how we grow and we make this community bigger. Access to the entire social network as well. And there's so much more, right? Why is it so easy? Because building a community, I've heard from so many people out there, is one of the most hardest things, because you can't find, if you struggle to find a queer community that's supportive, that's on your side, that makes sense to you, that you can connect with. And here at QueerQuest, these people are the kinds of queer people that are on the same path as you. They think the same as you. They want to have their queer awakening. They're on that journey of spiritual enlightenment. So of course, it's going to come easier, especially when you have the workshops where you get to meet people, you get to connect to people, you get to go into breakout rooms and have opportunities to speak to other queer people. How easy is that going to be for you to connect with people and go, hey, look, I spoke to Bobby in the breakout room and we had a really deep conversation. Now I'm going to reach out to Bobby and maybe this will spark a friendship for us as well, So think about the opportunities that you have to build a stronger queer community. So again, what you're going to get, you get 12 months access to QueerQuest Pro, the whole platform where all of the courses and all the meditations are held. You get to come to the monthly QueerQuest expert workshops where we focus on a new area of the queer wellness wheel of life every single month. And then, of course, you get access to the social network for the whole year as well, meaning you can build your connection, build your friendships, you can speak to the coaches, the healers, the gurus, ask you questions. And so you get support when you need it and build connection as well. The next thing that you need, I mentioned before that we're going to be running a live event every single year. So this is where we get every single person together in the QueerQuest network onto an event for a full day. We have different coaches, different speakers. We don't focus on just one area. It's a whole personal development seminar for one day. We have some fun in there. We'll have some, different performances and things like that. And it's a day for you to celebrate your success, your wins, and also to connect, to feel the love, and just spread that with everyone. So we'll be doing that every single year. Why I created it? Because I have felt so many times being in person with Elle that I was the only queer person in the room, but I was the outsider. Now I want to make a room for, a room full of outsiders means that we're insiders. That's what I look at. So instead of being the outsider in the big room, I want us to be the insiders and to welcome every single person who comes into that door and make them feel welcome, make them feel safe, make them feel like they belong. And that just like a day of love, celebration, growth, healing, just a good quality time as well. So the hard way, I talked about this before. So the hard way is listening to non-queer people tell us how to live our lives and to heal or get over it from growing up queer in the world. The hard way is numbing yourself from all the pain with substances and avoiding dealing with what's really going on. Now, for me, before I mentioned kind of like the cost of, you know, all of the personal development things, but here's kind of like the cost of, me avoiding and numbing. Like I would go out every single weekend and that would be a minimum of $250. I would go to therapy, coaching every single week as well. And that was $150 a session. And then, of course, because I was partying and taking drugs and all of the things, I would need at least 1 or 2 days every single week of emotional recovery days. I was losing 2 days a year just managing my emotions because of the come down from all of that stuff. So when we look at it, I was doing that for 15, 20 years and I was spending at least 10 to 15K. Again, like adding them all up, I'm spending over 500K on getting to where I am as well, because I've had to spend half of it on avoiding and half of it on trying to actively do some things as well the hard way, So that makes more sense when we look at it like that. And so why is it so much easier? Because when you have a community around you, when you have the right path forward and you know what you need to do next, it becomes easier. So getting a community, going to like these kinds of events as well, like I said, and being surrounded by a solid queer community who support each other, that's when you start to see the growth and success, because you're like, wow, like this is what I've been meaning, like this is what I've been looking for when it comes to a queer community. This is the vision that I see for myself, for you guys, and for the entire queer community as well. So that's what QueerQuest is Pro. And again, these are the things that we're going to get here. So you get the 12-month access to the platform where all of the quests are, all of the meditations, the sound healings. You get to come to the monthly workshops. Every single month, we focus on a different area of the queer wellness wheel of life. You get access to the social network where you can connect with friends and the queer experts. And then you get not 1, but 2 pro tickets to the QueerQuest big event. So not only will you get to go and immerse yourself in the event, you could support a friend or someone in your life who who maybe is struggling and needs some support and needs to see what it's like to be part of QueerQuest. You get to give a gift out to someone as well that might just change their life for the better. So it's not about just yourself. It's about giving a gift to someone in your life who you believe will get value out of QueerQuest, that event as well, and maybe them going on their own journey as well. And then finally, the last thing that you need is the QueerQuest one-on-one queer awakening call. Now, what is this? This is a one-on-one call with me specifically, you and me, where we actually get to sit down. We get to look at exactly where you're at, what's been holding you back in your life. We get to look at what you're looking to achieve in your life. So the plan that you want to have, the goals that you want to have. And then we get to see what is stopping you from getting from A to Z, and then what's going to get you there in a hell of a lot of time there. Because again, the way for us to get that zooming ahead and make a plan for this next 12 months is to really have that kind of awakening and understand like what has been my barrier, what's going to continue to be my barrier, and what can I start to focus on right now immediately to get the results in my life. And those kind of calls, as you heard from Jay earlier, with one call, he got some of the key realizations, because I have the key ability to ask the right questions. That's why I was voted most valuable coach in the mastermind of high profile coaches, because I know how to figure out what the right question to ask is and help you realize the things that you need to do so that you can progress forward in a super fast way. So that's why I created it. So because I believe that wasting time is wasting life. And why it's so easy or fast or easy is because literally you get on a call with me, we literally get straight to the point, and we talk about, like I said, where you are, where you want to be, what's holding you back, and what's going to move the needle forward. And we get a plan, and then I send you off on your merry way for the next 12 months, and I'll see you at all of the workshops, and you'll be a part of the community. And yeah, I'll be cheering you on from there. And this is only for new members at the beginning now, not for everyone. So this is, this is an early one, because I'm not going to be able to have these one-on-one calls with every single member as we start to grow. I want you to quickly meet Denise, who is another one of my clients who came to me. And Denise is someone who, you ever meet someone who's like an absolute gun at work, but then they like when step out of their work zone, that they lack the confidence. That's Denise. So Denise was a high-profile sales executive, was making a hell of a lot of money, doing all the right things in her career. When it came to her own private life, lacked confidence in who she was, lacked the ability to connect, was like struggled with her communication. And it was just like, it was crazy to see the difference of Denise. What we did, we worked on those things together, to work together for 3 months. And we figured out a lot of stuff that why Denise was struggling with her confidence came down to a lot of stuff that had happened to her earlier on in her life. Dealt with some trauma, with other family members and religion and a lot of stuff like that. And it left her feeling like she had to put on a mask and be masculine to get in a job because she had to protect and take care of herself and support herself. And so she could do that. But when it came down to her own personal life, she struggled with that. So we helped her through that. And the fantastic thing for Denise was that it shifted around her whole personal life. Denise made a fantastic group of friends and started dating a partner. And I believe that they've been together, from what I saw on Facebook, coming up to 9 months now. So Denise hadn't had a relationship before that. So I'm proud to see that Denise makes steps forward because she came on, we had the call, I asked the right questions, figured out where she was, what she was looking for, and what was holding her back. And then we cleared out that stuff that was holding her back and made it progress forward. And Denise started to see changes in her life. So what are you going to get? I'm going to do this for again because you can see here, we've got the 12 months Quest Pro membership, access to the full site where all the quests are hosted, where all the meditations and the sound healings are. You get access to every single month. You get to come to the expert workshops where we go into one of the different areas of the queer wellness wheel of life. You get to be part of the social network where you can build your community. You can connect with the other coaches and the experts and the healers as well. You get those 2 tickets to the Pro Queer Quest event, one for you and one to give away to someone that's in your life. And then you get that one-on-one queer awakening session with me, all for a total value of just under $11,500 US, right? And so if all this did was finally get you to see that being who you are authentically is your biggest gift to the world, would it be worth it? If all this did was help you heal, grow, evolve, and transform your life in unimaginable ways, would it be worth it? And if all this did was give you the opportunity to make every single day count and worthwhile, would it be worth it? I had 2 choices in life. The first one was to do nothing, to hit my rock bottom, to stay there, to stay depressed, to stay abusing substances, stay unhappy. And the other option was get up off the ground, take control of my life, my happiness, my success, learn, heal, grow, transform, and create what I've always wanted out of life and stop saying tomorrow and make it today. What's Queer Quest Pro worth to you? Is it worth a successful and happy life? Is it worth $500 a month, $10,000 a month? Is it worth more? How much would you pay to get all of that stuff that's what in Queer Quest Pro? You either get paid for decisions you made years ago, or you pay for decisions you made years ago. The choice is yours. Think about that one. Either pay or you pay, one way or another. You can either pay for knowledge or pay for not having enough. Either way, you will pay. What would you rather do? And finally here, the true worth of something lies not in its cost, but in the value it adds to your life. So you can see why Queer Quest Pro is a great deal at $1,997. That's right, it's $1,997 USD for the general public. But because you guys especially have come to this webinar, I'm making it a hell of a lot easier and affordable for people here for all of everything that we've talked about. You can get started now just for today for $997 today. And I'll pop in the link into the chat screen, but you can see it on the screen there. It is courses.queerquest.vip/queer-quest-pro. And you can check out the website, check out more information, anything you want, but you can get started today for just $997, right? All of that stuff that we talked about, all access to the web, the platform, to all of the monthly workshops, to the social network, to 2 tickets to the event, and your one-on-one queer awakening call. And of course, for anyone who's coming here, because we want to make sure that you start the year well and end the year well, we're going to give everyone who joins up today over the next little while 2 months extra QueerQuest Pro, which is normally an additional $3.99 on top of it. You're going to get it free with your investment today. So instead of 12 months, you're going to get 14 months. And all you need to do is go to courses.queerquest.vip and you'll be able to check out the site there as well. I know. Oh my God. Right? A great deal. Now, you have 2 choices. So first option is do nothing, stay exactly as you are right now for the rest of your life. Or 2, join QueerQuest Pro and take that next step on your journey towards mastery. I know which choice I'm making for you. Now, again, I spoke earlier that we had a guarantee, 15-day guarantee. So if you sign up and check through QueerQuest and all the components and decide it is not for you, just send me an email within 15 days and you can cancel for a full refund. No questions asked, a full refund back to you. Now, the real question is, how long are you going to tell yourself that you will make the change tomorrow, Monday, next week, next year, until you realize you've been lying to yourself? Now, again, let's quickly go over what you're going to get. It's 12 months access to QueerQuest Pro membership, which is that website, the platform where you get all of the quests. Every month, a new quest will come out from all of the queer experts. You get meditations on a regular basis, sound healings. You get access to 12 of the, this is actually now 14 months. We're talking 14 months of the expert workshops where we focus on a new area of the queer wellness wheel of life every single month, along with access to the social network where you can connect, build your tribe, connect with new friends, talk to the different coaches and experts, ask them questions. You get 2 tickets to the QueerQuest Pro, the event that we have every single year, one for you, one to give away as a gift. And then you also get the one-on-one Queer Awakening session with me for a total value of $11,496 USD. But again, you'll only get it for $997 as well. Now, for the first 5 people who sign up and are ready to go, you get all of the stuff, like you said, access to all the QueerQuest online courses, all of the QueerQuest live workshops, all the QueerQuest Pro social network, the biggest event, the one-on-one call, and more. But for the first 5 people, you're going to get an additional 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with me, where I'm going to actually uncover your biggest limiting belief in life and bust it entirely. Now, our limiting beliefs, the reason why they're so limiting is because we actually don't know what they are. We need someone else who is trained and skilled in the art of NLP as a master NLP to help us figure out what those limiting beliefs are, the things that are holding us back the most, and then bust them and change them. So it's going to leave you with a sense of purpose, direction, motivation, and peace, so you can jump into achieving your next big thing in life. And that's only for the first 5 people who sign up to QueerQuest Pro. So if you're someone who's keen and you want that, jump in and join us, because that's a priceless call, right? To be able to shift your biggest limiting belief that you didn't even know you had, that's been holding you back for years and years and years from having whatever it is that you're looking for, we'll be able to do that within 30 minutes. I trust everyone got a lot of value out of this webinar. It's something that I know it's really important for us to learn about. And, if you're someone who's interested in maybe taking that next step, I am going to link the link to the QueerQuest platform where you can get in and get that deal, because it's still available for the next 24 hours from hearing this, because everyone here gets the chance to do that with the link below. So check it out, see if it's for you. And of course, if you've got any questions, to reach out to me on social media, on all platforms. You can contact me, of course, Christiano Green, or search QueerQuest. You'll find me available online as well. And of course, I'll be back next week with another episode of the QueerQuest podcast. But until then, always remember that you've got this and I've got you. Bye for now.